Hi guys, I hope you're doing well. So I think I'm learning that the best time to do these videos are when the kids are in bed, because then it gets done and I can kind of get my feelings and my thoughts out there. And for those of you that want to know about different things that are going on in our lives and different things that we're going through, you can. And then you can hopefully understand us a little bit better, maybe understand missions a little bit better, and all that stuff. So I was thinking earlier, I was watching a video of another mission organization, a missionary, and I was just thinking about expectations. Things that I expected when we got on the mission field, things that other people might expect of missionaries, and just how it's okay to let go of those expectations, and it's important to really not have them because each person's experience is going to be different, and what each person feels called to is going to be different, and their level of involvement and just time in life and things. And then on the other side, like, it's important, as if you're not that missionary, or if you're just not that person in general, to not have expectations or demands on that person. And I find myself guilty of this, like thinking, oh, why didn't that person do that? Or why didn't they do this or that? Like, that's not my place. And it's nobody's place to do that to anybody. Ultimately, we answer to God, and as long as we feel like we're doing what He has called us to do, then we're in the right. You know, as long as we're in His will, and what the Bible says, then we're doing what we should. And it ultimately just doesn't matter what other people say or think. And it's okay. I've also learned that it's okay to have feelings and thoughts that some other missionaries might not have. And honestly, a lot of missionaries probably just don't even share those thoughts or thinking, or even just people in ministry. Like, there's different things that people go through that they just don't talk about. And so to assume that somebody's not going through something, it's not right. And so, yeah, it was just some of the things I've been thinking about. Like, you know, we're trying to figure out different steps and things that we should take, and we're making decisions. And I'm so thankful for those that have helped us reaffirm those decisions. I'm so thankful for those that have given us their input and their guidance and direction. But I've also had to learn how to take some of those hurtful things that people have to say, and maybe not even just hurtful, just things that people say when they don't understand the situation. You know, there's things that I might be willing to do if I lived in the States, surrounded by friends and family, and, you know, having a job that had a guaranteed paycheck no matter what, and it never fluctuated or whatever, compared to things that I would do over here. And I'm also learning, and I think Dan is too, like, we're learning to rely more on each other, like, because ultimately it's our family out here. I mean, yes, we have friends, and yes, we have FaceTime and Skype and video chat and all that we can seek others' guidance and direction and talk to them, but ultimately, like, we're the ones that have to live with our decisions, and we're the ones that, you know, see each other on a daily basis. And it's just interesting. this Christmas season has been more stressful, more tense. It's hard to go from Thomas, who was pretty laid back, pretty chill, even as a baby. Like, yes, he had needs, but he didn't have a background where he was, felt neglected or anything, or so constantly was crying for us or whatever, or wouldn't even let us walk out of a room for a second. And so there's just been a lot of extra stress and hands needed, and I'm trying really, really hard to be sensitive to the fact that not only adds stress to my life, it adds stress to Dan's life, it adds stress to Thomas's, and just learning our limits, learning, yes, we can say yes to that, no, we need to say no to that, and being okay with that. Other people might have other opinions, might have other thoughts, and that's fine. They're entitled to them. But, you also have to understand, each individual person is gonna do what they feel is best. And I love the fact that one of my friends, she put it in perspective for me. Dan is the head of the household. He's the one that's gonna have to answer to God for all of our decisions, for all of our choices, and so it's important for me as the wife to not push him into something that he's not comfortable with, or into something that he doesn't feel led to do. And so we're trying to figure each other out. We're continually learning that missions is messy. Life overseas is messy. I've had some situations where I'm just I just need a hug from my mom, and I can't get that. And being okay with changes, being okay with the possibility of having to move, like I said in the last video, and just unknowns with the twins, unknowns with what our summer looks like. It's a lot. And I don't expect people to sympathize or understand or any of that. But I don't want you to get a wrong picture of missions. Yes, it's beautiful. Yes, it's a great thing. Yes, it's wonderful. But a lot of times, the hard parts aren't told. The difficulties, the challenges, it's just not told. And there's times where a missionary goes out and they serve for 1 or 2 years, and for whatever reason they have to come back home. And that, I heard a missionary friend just talk about the different struggles that they're having, because they were in one country and had to come back home, and their kids are still dealing with it. And my heart breaks for them, and I'm praying that if that happens to somebody, then there's not that person that sits there and says, well, what's wrong with you? Why does that happen? Why aren't you doing this and this and this? And because it's important to remember that we're all human. We all have our struggles. Honestly, every Christmas time, I don't remember a Christmas overseas where I haven't had the thought of, okay, Lord, are we where you want us? Do we need to go back to the States? I feel like that's a yearly conversation. It's not that I'm doubting that I'm in the Lord's will. It's just, you miss family. Life gets hard. Christmas was hard because, yeah, we had friends come over, and I'm grateful for the times that they held the girls and things, but in a lot of ways, we don't get the, here, let me take the kids for a night, or here, let me do this or that. And it's hard. I remember going to my brother and sister-in-law's wedding, and I think the pastor said it before their wedding, but he said something really good. He's like, be mindful, pay attention to them, pay attention to their needs. You know, if they need a gift card to go out, or if they need somebody to babysit, like, just pay attention to people's needs. You know, pay attention to how you can pray for them, because it's totally different, you know, to have the routine of school, and you know how things are going to work, and you know how things are going to play out, and Thomas has his preschool to go to, and, you know, the girls have their schedule, and then break is just totally different. Don't get me wrong, we love each other, but it's just like, if you think of like a summer break, you know, eventually the parents are like, okay, it's time for the kids to go back to school. Like, you need your space, you need your rest, and that doesn't always happen. And I think even more so with the different sacrifices that you make with being overseas, sometimes you become tired even quicker. You know, whether that's just not having a room to yourself to go to and rest, or whether it's 80 degrees and it's Christmas, you know, the heat, or just different things you're trying to think of and figure out, or the fact that there's, you know, always somebody at your door that seems to want something, or, you know, whatever, like, that wears you down. It makes you tired. But all that to say, break has been really good so far, but we're tired, and it's been quite an adjustment, and we love it, but there's definitely hard and challenging parts about it, and so I'm really, really thankful for those that I've been able to call and be like, today was hard, or this or that happened, and like, they just listen, and that makes a difference in a missionary's life, and anybody that has to be away from family for a holiday, you know, just anybody going through a hard time, to have that listening ear of just hearing. You know, it's tough. We're figuring it out. I appreciate all the wisdom and advice, but most importantly, I just appreciate those that are willing to listen and pray, because it's your prayers, and it's the Lord that helps us get through this difficult time, and I know we'll come out of it like we always do, and then we'll move on to the next semester, and it just it cycles, and it's just a part of the life that God has called us to, and I keep reminding myself that someday there will be a reward, and just trying to keep my eyes on Jesus. But I guess I just wanted to show you, or tell you today, that it's not always easy, and not everybody always understands. So I hope you have a great day. God bless. Talk to you next time.